How do you not only get lean but also maintain it all year round? For most people, getting lean is a struggle, and then it's even harder to actually maintain it. But that's not the way that it has to be. You just have to understand some basic principles to make sure that you get lean and actually stay there for good. To get to a level considered lean, you're going to have to do certain things depending on where your original starting point is at. If you're already in pretty good shape and just have a little bit of extra body fat, you can throw in some extra cardio or a couple extra days of HIIT weight training into your regular workout program, and doing that consistently alone can get you leaner. However, if your starting point is at a heavier weight and you have a lot of excess fat, then you're going to have to do certain things and stick to a diet plan for a longer period of time. How long you have to stick to this diet plan depends on how much extra body fat you're carrying around and how aggressive your diet plan is. To get lean, you're mostly going to be sticking with nutrient-dense, single-ingredient foods. Foods that are natural and grow in the ground. The foods that we all know are actually healthy for you. Although you can deviate from this and you can incorporate even junk food into your diet plan as long as your macros and calories balance out at the end of the day and there's an indicated negative calorie balance at the end of the day. Now, I'm not going to BS you. Getting lean isn't easy, just like bulking up, contrary to the beliefs of the many people that have never tried to do it before. Eating enough food to gain weight and bulk is not as easy as it sounds. You're going to have to stuff yourself, and that's not always fun. When getting lean, there's going to be a point where you're going to want to eat more carbs than you're allowed for that day, or there's going to be a snack that you desperately want that you're going to have to refuse because you're trying to obviously get leaner. However, being consistent, maintaining an overall calorie deficit, and balancing out your macros properly over the course of about 6 weeks should help everyone get dramatically leaner from where they originally started. The bigger question is, how do you actually maintain it? To stay in shape year-round, you can't just force yourself to just eat chicken breast, broccoli, and brown rice for the whole year. Or always stick to your diet plan and keep it clean and healthy no matter what. I don't think it's possible to do that, and I think the people that do attempt to do that wind up falling off and binging out. The best way to stay lean all year round is by understanding the underlying principles of fat loss and fat gain. It doesn't matter if you have a day where you eat a whole bunch of junk food and take in a whole ton of extra sugar and calories, and then the next day you don't eat anything at all. Here I'm talking about a 24-hour fast. Even though this does go against mainstream fitness advice that you'll hear on the news, your calories will most likely balance out no matter how much damage you did in that one day. And for those of you that are thinking about insulin, well, the huge insulin spike that you're going to get on the day that you pig out is going to wind up being balanced out the very next day when you have virtually no insulin floating around your bloodstream whatsoever because you'll be fasting for that entire day. What happens is that you'll get a little bit of fat gain on the day that you pig out, and then you'll lose a little bit of that fat on the day that you fast, and that creates a balance. Granted, if you're planning on pigging out like crazy, I would only pick a couple meals to pig out with rather than eat junk food all day, because that can be pretty difficult to balance out. Now keep in mind that this kind of approach towards fasting after a day of eating junk food is just one of the many flexible dieting approaches that can work. You can do a regular intermittent fasting protocol where you would only allow yourself to eat for an 8-hour feeding window that you would pick for that day. That method helps burn a lot of those calories that you end up accumulating at the end of that day. Also, you could just eat one meal for the day rather than maybe your regular breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and balance out your intake that way. There's also the 5-2 diet, which allows you to eat normally 5 days of the week, and then you have 2 days in the week where you have significantly less calories than normal, almost like you're eating nothing at all. These approaches to fat loss have proven more effective for many people than just having a steady, clean eating plan for your whole life, because these approaches for many are a lot easier to maintain and help satisfy your cravings. Just keep a couple things in mind. 1. Some people that reintroduce junk food back into their plan, even for a day, they'll cave and then they'll lose their forward momentum. And then they find themselves the next day going right back to that same junk food. So if you're one of those people, being more steady with your diet plan may work better for you. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you overdo it and you take in too much pizza, ice cream, chips, Oreos, Pop-Tarts, and all that other junk food, you're going to wind up creating too much of a calorie surplus to balance out the next day. Keep in mind, you could still make up for that, but it might take one extra day to balance out that surplus that you had. It's all about balance when trying to maintain, and that's why maintenance is actually a lot easier than getting lean to begin with. But I just want you guys to know that it's totally possible to get lean while eating foods like Pop-Tarts and ice cream, and it's actually pretty easy to stay lean while eating foods like that. As long as you're balancing out your calories and macros throughout the week by using certain fasting principles, certain workout modifications, and many other flexible dieting approaches, you're going to be golden. So that's it, guys. I really hope this video has helped you guys out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a big thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to this channel to see more tips and tricks just like this one. Pump it.